because it's structural or it's running some other system. And so rather than go ahead and get the job done, they fill out what's called an RFI, a request for information, and they send that to the project manager for the general contractor, who sends it back to the office, who sends it to the superintendent, who sends it to the architect, who looks at it and says, shit, I'm not an engineer. I don't know what's going on with that. So he sends it to the engineering office. So the engineers, you know, in a completely different, usually completely different entity, look at it and they go, geez, we hired a specialty designer to do that. I don't know what's going on there. So they send it over there. Well, the American General Contractor Association, through their Consensus Docs group, was working on turning that into a digital workflow. And they sent me the diagram, and it looked worse than the red tape trail of a regular RFI. And so I just took a red pen and marked, the designer at one end and the trade contractor at the other, and I drew a red line from the trade contractor to the designer. I said, why don't we just do this? Oh, no, we can't cut all these people out of the loop. I said, well, they don't have to be out of the loop, but you need to go straight to the source of the information, and everybody that wants to be in the know can opt in to know what decision is made. But these are the two guys that need to coordinate the decision, and, let's cut out all the red tape. That's where the waste and inefficiency comes in. And just recreating a digital workflow that mirrors an existing paper workflow is not necessarily more efficient.
Yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And knowing that you could, but isn't it getting everybody to get on that platform, which that buy-in has got to be,
Correct. So that has to be the owner. The owner has to say, I'm going to build it this way, and I'm going to require that you do it this way. And that's the consulting I've been doing up in Canada with the municipalities up there who said, hey, AEC, architects, engineers, and contractors, heads up, pay attention. We're going to be building our buildings differently going forward. So 1 year from now, we're going to put out a series of RFPs that call for bids from integrated teams. And in order to be pre-qualified to participate in that, play in that sandbox and bid on that work, you've got to become qualified to be an integrated team member. And the way you do that is by attending this workshop and coming and listening to how these tools work and agreeing that you're going to, make an attempt to get in the sandbox and play by this new set of rules. And the municipalities that are purchasing planning, design, and construction services under that model up in Canada are having great success. So I think that, a private sector owner could easily do something like that. The church, for example. Now, if you're a repeat consumer of planning, design, and construction services, like you're a school district, for example, or you're a CVS or a Walgreens or something like that, it makes a lot of sense for you to put a bunch of time and effort into getting that template down and figuring out what you want from that integrated team. If you're a one-off consumer of planning, design, and construction services, you've got to sort of weigh the cost-benefit analysis of, A, building this building under the old school rules, and B, spending probably more time, energy, and money on the front end to figure out how to do it according to this new model. Now, ultimately, where I think the value for the industry is for nimble, smaller, new generation integrated teams to come together and approach, the one-offs. Like your example of the church is a great one. Churches don't only build new facilities once or twice every other generation, probably. But if you had a model for how to do it really, really well, and how to make the pastor and the building committee come out smelling like a rose because they got the most value out of the congregation's construction dollars, boy, you might have a really good little business niche for an entity that did repeat work of building churches. You wouldn't build it to the same church again and again. You'd go and have that pastor refer you to their friend, who's building one somewhere else. So I think that has a lot of potential for, like you were describing, a small general contractor who's got new generation leadership who's come on board and they're looking to find a way to, expand the business and preserve the business, frankly. What's going to happen is, over the next 20, 25, 30 years, where these young, nimble, new outfits are going to get on board with all this stuff, they're going to figure it out, and they're going to eat the old outfits that aren't ready to change. And of course, the big ones are already doing it. The Skanskas, the Turners, the Balfour Bates of the world are already operating in this space. They're again just doing it back behind the curtain and kind of hiding their secret sauce from each other because they think they do have a competitive advantage, and they want to preserve it.
I hear you.